And you just listen to a young girl who was saying that the Nigerian community here is totally very angry. Covers all the aspects and various techniques of our development.
Was the Ijaw country of the Niger Delta of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. He went to several schools. His major academic genesis was at the government college, Ujeli.
Go gather, destroy their food. With the waiting camp and that other camp, some more camp, you don't compensate everybody.
In its key generation sometimes. Today Alpha can be in the style of K.P. Clark, a poet and writer, and we shall also be very interested in his point Akmo dancer.
Some lives are meaningful, some are empty. Lives that are meaningful, with too much meaning and riches to offer humankind. Long after some of these earthly adventures and no more, one can still find footprints of these great lives on the pavements of our contemporary life.
Good evening, you're welcome to the program Green Planet.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Conference on Sustainable Strategies and Practices for Development, 2010. For long, Africa lurks in the backdrop. Africa is hammered from all angles because Africa faces problems, poverty, diseases. Sometimes these diseases are manageable, sometimes the problems are solvable, and sometimes the problems and strategies to resolve these problems are unmapped. Africa with its huge potentials, Africa with its dynamic people, still lurks in the backdrop of development management, even though her people have sowed the seeds for development. And we have been peeping behind the blinds to understand why Africa still lurks in the backdrop. Is it because of the fact that seeds were not sowed, or were they sowed on unfavorable grounds? And the only way to arrive at this kind of perusing of issues that have been affecting Africa as a continent is by looking in and out from stakeholders from different dimensions of life to understand what they have been putting in place as strategies and practices for development. In so doing, we shall be mapping Africa based on the contributions of people from different walks of life in order to understand Africa in a holistic manner. And if you've come across the literature of scholars like Go and Moose in 1988 that have been hinting the failure of projects in developing countries, you will know such a conference is really very worthy because it gives us a reason to think, have we been going down the right road or have we been failing because we still have the same problems that keep knocking at our doors. If you come to the literature of Chambers and Conway in 1992, when they talk about capabilities and access to assets, we look at ourselves and say, do we have the capabilities? Do we have the resources? Have we been able to map our resources into sustainable strategies for development? And in asking ourselves these questions, we think we have to look through the mirror of sustainability. And the only way is to look at stakeholders from different walks of life, from different CIGs, CBOs, NGOs, artists, and cultural and development organizations to be able to come up with a framework that will be usable both in Africa and out of Africa, and that will make Africa mapped in development literature once and for all. This framework will be used everywhere in the world, and it's going to be a contribution of important people who are in fisheries, who are in agriculture, who are in environmental protection, and who are into poverty alleviation. It is going to be a loose synergy that we can be able to present ourselves in different aspects of funding, of assessing of the works we've been doing, because we have a collaborative agenda. Since Sullivan and Skelcher in 2002, the collaborative agenda in development management is not only a tool, it's a necessity in the 21st century. So I am very happy to welcome you all here, the people who come from Iraq, the Libya Botanic Garden, stakeholders, independent consultants, and Sender, and musicians who have traveled, some from the northwest to be here, and from the littoral province as well, the traditional groups, and every stakeholder that I cannot list here. And I also want to thank His Royal Highness Chief Jonas Eninge Arrey for honoring the rendezvous here to make sure that this day can be put into the history books of Africa. Thank you very much for coming here. It is my pleasure to be here with you, and I hope you shall enjoy the papers that are going to be presented here. Thank you very much and welcome.
And this has been Arrey Ivo for the African Center for Community and Development. I have been reporting on the conference on sustainable strategies and practices for development, and on the workshop Fighting Poverty and Engaging Conservation Through Sounds 2010.
Thank you very much. And you just listened to a young girl who was saying that the Nigerian community here is totally very angry. It covers all the aspects and various techniques of our general.
This was the Ijo country of the Niger Delta of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. He went to several schools. His major academic genesis was at the government college, Ujeli.
Go gather, destroy their food. With the camp and that other camp, Tongo camp, you compensate everybody.
In its key generation sometimes. Today our folklore can be in the style of J.P. Clark, a poet and writer, and we shall also be very interested in his poem Arrey Mbongaya Ivo.
Some lives are meaningful, some are empty. The lives that are meaningful, with too much meaning and riches to offer humankind. After some of these earthly adventures and no more, one can still find footprints of these great lives on the pavements of our contemporary life.
Good evening, you're welcome to the program Green Planet.